Today I have the utmost pleasure in being joined by a very, very special guest. Now, I've been so excited for this interview, but
Really?
before we hear from this incredible person, this daughter of the king, let me just explain a little bit about it. I'll try my best to provide a worthy introduction. Give me a rating out of 10, see how I go. Now, Grace Graber is a phenomenal worship artist. She is a mental health advocate. And of course, as I said, a daughter of the king. Now, I have read and I have listened to some of Grace's story, which is actually why I reached out to see if there was an opportunity to do this interview. Her story is touching. It is moving. It is emotional. It is powerful and it's deeply personal. And yet, Grace has been so very public about it. She's an incredibly talented individual, but she's more than just her talent. She is a walking, talking billboard of God's grace, no pun intended, of God's love. She has an incredible heart for the hurting and for the broken. So, yes, today I am joined by the one and only Grace Graber. Let's get this show on the road.
Hi, how's it going?
How was that for an intro? Out of 10.
I mean, slay. I love it. I love it. I've never heard "Daughter of the King" used so much. I'm not gonna lie, so I love it.
Look, my vocabulary is limited, so I might repeat a few things.
I love that. Okay.
All right. Now, as we mentioned, you have quite an inspiring story. It's quite an emotional story. Would you be so kind to share whatever you feel comfortable to share when it comes to that personal story of struggle?
Yeah, yeah. When I was 12 years old, I was physically and verbally assaulted by other teenage girls in middle school. And it got so bad that when my parents took me out of that school and put me in another one, it had spread on MySpace. And so it was unsafe for me to go to all the schools in the area. And I was exposed to a lot of really hard topics while being bullied. And so going from that, as a pastor's kid, going from being exposed to that, um, to isolation, being homeschooled, um, I became suicidal. And one night I was planning on taking my own life when a Hawk Nelson song got stuck in my head and told me I was not alone. And it wasn't like their most popular song or anything like that. It was just because my parents would take me to the Christian bookstore and let me pick out CDs, and they would take me to Christian rock concerts all the time. And after that experience with experiencing a song saving my life, um, I found so much comfort and stability in like watching the bands online, watching their like video vlogs, and then they would come through my hometown all the time. These bands would come and play, and I'd meet the bands and I'd be like, why do they not know me and they love me so well, but the people who know me want to hurt me? And that is
Mm.
truly how I discovered who Jesus was for myself. I wanted to be just like them, and I saw that faith displayed and said, okay, that's the faith that I want in Jesus. And so, flash forward, I mean, I got to sing with Hawk Nelson at 16. I thought that was the end of the story, and then now I am known as like the Christian pop punk princess
Amen.
online, and Hawk Nelson's little sister, and like all the things, and I get to carry the legacy of all these bands that made such a deep impact on me. And the posters on my walls have turned into actual friends of mine, and mentors. And I just like, I'm like, literally, I am dumbfounded that like I am getting the ultimate fan experience, getting to do all this. So, um, yeah, that, I mean, that's like the story. And now, yeah, so now I'm just like following their footsteps and doing the thing, and yeah.
It's an incredible, just an incredible turnaround of someone's life. And I hope that this interview today is inspiring for others,
Yeah.
that might be going through a similar type of thing at the moment. It was that pop and punk collaboration album that you released that put me onto
Yeah,
you,
dude.
actually.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, what's crazy is like this happened like only like 6, 7 months ago. It has been so like recent that
Yeah.
all of this has been kind of like blowing up and doing the thing. And so I've been kind of like in, and then I just launched a podcast through Access More and K Love, which I mean, Australia might not know what K Love is, but it's like the largest radio station here in the USA, and they have a podcasting company called Access More, and I'm doing a mental health show. And so to like, I was blowing up online while I was working on the show, and just watching God just move in ways that I'd been praying for years. And then
Yeah.
not to mention like now I like my manager is like Adam from Stellar Cart now, and I'm literally now working side by side with the people who made this happen, like that God used, and then now God's using me, and these guys are like standing next to me helping me do it. And it is the I can't make it up. You know what I mean? You just can't make this story up where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, she was a fangirl, and then a career happened, and here we are.
It
Um,
it's something you see in the movies, isn't it?
it is, but also like I'm gonna be honest, like I always felt kind of crazy for like when I moved to Nashville, I felt like crazy to be like, oh yeah, a Hawk Nelson song saved my life. I'd always say like a song saved my life and kept it at that.
Yeah.
But like then I kind of leaned into the fact that I was like absolutely utterly obsessed with early 2000s Christian rock bands.
Mm.
I leaned into that a little bit, started meeting them, and realized like, oh, that might actually be a strength. That might not. I thought it was going to be a weakness. I thought it was going to make me like less approachable, like less serious to these people. But in fact, like it's like so cool to see the heroes that I have had and the heroes that I have now. Like they're not like the right ones are not like they don't turn away. Like God is
Yeah.
really intentional, and I am just blown away.
I'll change tack from what I was going to go from the early goings. I was going to talk a little bit about the mental health side of things, but just on that as well, because I grew up as a fan of punk rock music. I didn't grow up
Nice.
as a Christian.
Okay.
It was Green Day and Good Charlotte and
Okay.
uh, Blink 182, those sorts of bands. And I always looked at punk music as this sort of rebellious, wage war against the machine type
Mm-hmm.
of mantra. And yet somehow, and this probably speaks into your incredible artistry, that you've managed to make this punk rock sound and worship collaborate in the most beautiful way that people are listening to this music and praising it. I listen to it and I just want to praise Jesus right now,
Yeah. I
which is
mean, like,
beautiful.
but like, look at the people that made me. Look at Hawk Nelson, look at Stellar Cart, look at Run Kid Run.
Mm,
These were pop punk bands back in the early 2000s, and like their songs were so uplifting. For example, Automatic by Stellar Cart. I want to love you like it's automatic, make you into my good habit. It's like
yeah,
so positive.
yeah,
And like same with Hawk Nelson, I mean they had let's pack up and move to California. Just like so lighthearted and fun, and I was really drawn to the bands because they were so lighthearted and not as serious. I feel like
yeah,
yeah, in secular mainstream punk, definitely I was a Revolve tour girl. I was only listening to Christian pop punk bands. I never listened to Blink until later. I
mm,
never listened to Good Charlotte or anything until later. And
mm,
like I listen to it now and I'm like, why like okay, like I guess it's good, but like I do agree like the lyrics and all of that it's very like anti system, and like that's not what I grew up knowing pop punk as. And so
mm,
like I think that's like the unique perspective that I have is like I'm really not trying to like break the system. I'm just trying to like resonate. I'm just trying to bring back that nostalgic sound that resonates with people.
yep,
And so I think like just by and these are songs they already know. They
mm,
already you are like gratitude. You say like
mm,
these are songs that like people already love. They just like it's just in a style that they crave and they
yeah,
miss. And so I feel really fortunate that like God tasked it with me and then it worked, and then now this is like the legacy I get to leave. Um
mm,
and I mean I get to lean into going forward. I mean this is always I was talking to someone earlier today like I'm always going to be known for, in some capacity, doing that project. Like, that's
mm,
just always going to be it. And that is so Cool. So no
Yeah.
matter what I do next, like that's always going to be a part of me.
And that's just awesome because the song Gratitude by Brandon Lake, that's my favorite worship song. And we have this thing where, worship music is the slower paced and praise music is the fast paced. And
Hmm.
I've just seen out of the corner of my eye, my cat's just walked into the room, just barges the door open. Anyway, back on track. And this worship music, people ask, what's your favorite worship song? What's your favorite praise song? And now I'm kind of like, well, my favorite worship song is Gratitude, and my favorite praise song is Gratitude. So, are they different? No,
So
it's the same
fun.
song. It's just different pacing,
Different styles, yeah.
which is awesome. So just back on to touching on mental health, and I know you're a
Hmm.
huge advocate for that, which is awesome that you have this platform and you're using it in such a powerful way. You've been incredibly open about PTSD and depression and suicidal thoughts. What was it that gave you the courage? We know what people can be like online. What gave you the courage to start sharing this publicly?
I don't know. I I think I was just like done hiding. I was done feeling shame for having a story like that. I was done feeling shame, truly. I for having a story that is so real. And because I had met with people and I told them the story and they'd be like, whoa, that's powerful. And it was honestly, it's always like, I feel like anyone who's afraid to share their story that is like that deep in that capacity, it's really just a you thing. I mean,
Mm,
think about it. Like people have just received my story so well. And so, um, I think you just kind of have to get over shame that you're putting on yourself, like
mm,
before anyone else is. And like, honestly, at the same time, too, you have to realize like no one can change it and you're the only one who can provide yourself that security in order to like me telling my story to the world. I'm not trying to find security from the world by telling my story to the world. I'm genuinely trying to build a connection point that helps people vocalize maybe what they're going through. And so for me, I feel like a lot of people when they think about sharing their story, they feel about connecting, they feel about finding security.
mm,
You have to find security in yourself. You have to be able to go, I don't care what happens with this. But I mean, we're talking about stories. That's deeply personal for people.
mm,
And so to put yourself out there and means that they're in a way if you're not mentally prepared, you might be asking for some security from outside sourcing when that's only going to let you down
mm,
and create probably some shame, but honestly at the same time it's all a mindset thing. Like is it you who's giving yourself shame or who is actively telling you that your story is not good or wrong? Like did god say like did God say not to tell your story? No.
mm.
So he actually told you to testify.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm going to do what God says and act like God told me to, which is
Yeah.
terrifying. But at the same time, I feel like that's how I found courage. Was I found security in myself and comfortability in myself to go. I'm not looking for anyone's validation. I'm just looking to connect. I'm just looking to connect the dots for some people.
Mm,
And I mean, you hear it on the radio stations all the time. You hear about songs like meeting people right at the right place, right time. So surely someone else gets it. Um, and so when I started sharing online, it just like took one video and then another, and then you just start feeling more and more comfortable, and then you start speaking, and then you start writing songs, and it just kind of started growing. And then I
mm,
actually met my heroes, and they weren't scared of it.
mm.
I think that really did it for me is when you like when I met people who weren't afraid of it that I really respected. It really changed the game for me. And yeah, put a little cherry on top of everything else because again, like I don't need that to feel secure at
Yeah.
all.
And
I don't need the world's approval.
and it is something that people are scared of because even as the most faithful of followers, we have this tendency to just lean into wanting that approval from the world, and especially as Christians, when it comes to our church, we share our stories because we want that encouragement and we want that support.
And I would
Um,
argue that sometimes people feel the most shame from a church.
and that was going to be my next question as well. It's
Because, yeah, because, like, we're talking about the pursuit of righteousness, the pursuit of excellence.
yeah,
And unfortunately, some people who don't know how to approach things with love cause shame around those things,
yeah,
shame verbiage. And so then, yeah, we're kind of fashioned as Christians to kind of like either water down the story or maybe like not burden people with like like our testimony has to be completely positive in a
yeah,
way. And
yeah.
it's like, no, like be really honest about, yeah, I don't know. How are we supposed to find freedom if we can't even feel free to, like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot with that. But yeah, I feel like
Mm.
shame has come from the church immensely around us sharing our stories and not wanting to be misunderstood and lose our community.
But what do you think? What areas do you think the church could be doing better in this area? Is it just
Yeah.
being a bit more personal, or
Listening.
mm,
I feel like a lot of the mental health stigma or like all of that, like people probably feel like it's still stigmatized in the church because everyone's just trying to fix everything all the time.
yeah,
When people are coming to find community and they want to be heard, and people get preached at all day. Come on, we're preaching at people all day. If we're gonna
mm,
like approach them, let's approach them and ask them to share their story and their thought. Whenever I have someone come up to me at a show, I want to first, and they're like, talking to me, it's like I want to know about them and their story. And they're always taken aback when I ask, like, are you from here? Like, do you go to church? Like, do you know
mm,
Jesus? And they're like, what is this chick like doing? Because and so if anyone ever approaches me and they're going through something, when I first ask if they know Jesus, and then second, I ask them to tell me what's going on, tell me their story.
mm,
Because if someone tells me they have anxiety and my first initial reaction is like, you can't claim that,
mm,
how are they supposed to get help?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they need we have the approach, we can approach them with love or fear, and I think a lot of the times people don't really know how to handle the topic, so they approach it with like some fear, and
mm,
so like loving the person looks like listening and being there, and then also understanding the signs of when to step in, like understanding, okay, this is verbiage that shows suicidal ideation. We need to
mm.
step in here, we need to get some help, we need to, I mean, like, it's really case by case, but I think the church can get better at, instead of preaching at the person in the back of the room, sitting with them.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a big difference in doing church and being the church. And the word church doesn't mean the four walls and the roof and the 2 hour service on a Sunday. It's the
It means
people.
the heart.
Yeah, yeah, coming together, helping one another out, walking through and navigating through life. And it's always disappointing to hear when people walk away from Jesus because of church hurt. And we are all broken. We all make mistakes, but it happened. I hear of it way too regularly, and it's something that we do need to change.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to be humble enough to accept that as well. For someone that might be watching this interview, that might be struggling through life right now, whether they're the 12-year-old girl or whether they might be a little bit older, what is
The
something that
middle-aged man.
the middle-aged man right here? Um, What is something that you would like to share that might be encouraging that they might like to hear, they might need to hear?
mm. What you think is weakness actually might be the strong point that God will use.
Mm,
So when I started sharing my story, I thought my weak points were I was suicidal. I still have to sometimes take medication. And my weak point is also the fact that I was a big fangirl, and that's embarrassing. I thought those were my weak points, and I just built an entire career out of it.
mm, that's good.
Not by my might at all, but by just be obedient. And I think like we think obedience is like, like reading my Bible every day, doing this. Sometimes obedience looks like just like being really honest and authentic to what's in front of you.
Mm,
And just going like I'm going to give this everything I've got. And so, like, the biggest things in my life right now come from me going, that's a cool idea. I'm just going to lean into it and be like completely 110% myself and see what happens.
Hmm.
And then God opened the door. And it's like, oh, I didn't ask for a podcast show. I didn't really like I thought it was a cool idea to do like the punk covers. Actually, it started as a joke and then it turned into what it was and it's reaching millions of people.
Mm,
And I didn't do that. I didn't like ask for that and I think like but I was obedient to the idea of what might happen. I
mm,
like I really did not think that Forrest Frank video was going to pop off like that. I really did not. I genuinely thought gonna get 2,000 views and I'm gonna keep having to struggle like I have been, and then it didn't, and it was incredible. So um yeah, I think just like be obedient to what's in front of you, be obedient and lean into authenticity of who you are, not who you think people think you are.
mm,
Like, I mean, I'm covered and decked out in tattoos. I wear band t-shirts. Like I'm still gonna be her forever. Like that's just this is what you get. And we're
mm,
so afraid of not being accepted that it prevents us from being obedient to a possible calling. And then
mm,
we sit around wondering why we're miserable.
mm,
So you're like, in a way, you're the only one in your way.
mm.
We are
I
our
like that.
only ones in our I was the only one in my way before I started doing music. I was the and then it was like, well, I don't have the money. Well, then go get another job. Okay, well then I don't have this. Well, then go learn that. Like it's truly like a mind thing. I believe it's really a big mind shift that you have to have. And that mind shift is truly obedience to who God made you to be.
100%. And God's made us all individually. He's made us all unique,
And
and
you're your
beautiful
only
and beautiful.
advocate.
Yeah.
You're your only advocate for that.
Yep.
No one else is going to advocate for you like you can because no one else knows you like you do.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. That's really good. And when it comes to younger people, maybe we'll go with younger Christians in particular. Do you think they're more open about mental health these days than previous previous years?
No, yeah, yes. Yes, they're more open to it because there are a lot more people struggling with it due to social media
Mm,
and just the ability we have now to see the analytics. And it's really for young kids. For young kids, it's just been the reality. Like like
mm,
it's a reality. And a lot of high schools. I meet a lot of high schoolers who don't have social media because they know it'll hurt them. And then, but like young Christians who just starting out Christians, I mean, get some experience in the world and you're going to see that like these are real things. Just because like I struggle with something more internally does not mean it's not the same injury as like if I break my arm.
yeah.
I'm mentally, and I think like newer, like people who have not been in the faith before, but they understand that more. And I think Christians who've just been in Christian culture for so long, it like for them there's a big name it claim it type of mentality, fear.
Mm,
But like there's a difference between saying something and putting your identity in it. So I have a broken arm, but I am not the broken arm.
yeah.
So like I have a mental health condition, but that
Mm,
is not who I am, not the mental health condition.
yeah.
And am I actively working on going and healing that? Or
Mm,
am I continuing to snap open the bone a little? That's a little graphic. But like, like just like am I
that's good.
continuing to cause the pain and cause the hurt? And I think like that's what I wish like Christians would kind of understand about mental health disorders
Mm,
is it's not like something that like if you say you have depression, it's not the end of the world. It
yep.
just means you have a word to identify an issue that
Mm,
you now can work on.
yep.
And you might get approved for different resourcing than you would before that diagnosis.
Yep.
So it's actually a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I don't think, I mean, and yeah, it's again, I don't think any of the mental health stuff has anything to do with faith. I think it has to do with
Mm.
hope. And where are you putting your hope in? Who are you like? What are your idols? That kind of thing.
And there's lots of different philosophies that we seem to separate from one another, faith and science and therapy. When it comes to faith and therapy, how can they go hand in hand and work
Oh my
together?
gosh. Oh my gosh. I would not be as close to the Lord if I did not have my therapist.
Mm,
If I did not have someone to actively help walk me through perspectives of my life and one, see where God is moving, but two, going challenging it.
mm,
Now I know what to pray for.
yeah.
Now I know how to like, oh Lord, I didn't know you were doing that in in that thing. I didn't realize that this was I didn't realize like I have a little OCD sometimes. Like okay, now I know what to pray for and I know what to heal from and I know what to ask and sit at the feet of Jesus about.
Yeah.
Like that is what therapy is there for. It's there as a tool to draw us closer to the Lord. And
Mm,
I think we just get afraid that like we're just gonna sit in it and all that. Then you have the wrong therapist if she's just letting you sit in it every week. Like
yeah.
you have the wrong therapist and you're going to therapy for the wrong reason. If you
Mm,
want to go complain, go complain to someone else. Like don't pay to complain. But but some people like I understand people going, well, he's a mighty counselor and all that. Yeah, but like we have literal professionals who understand how the brain works,
mm,
and that's science. And you can't deny that you don't have a physical brain. Just because you can't see it does not mean it's not a physical thing that can have things just not work. And that's I what is wrong with us sometimes like finding out something doesn't work right.
mm,
What's so wrong? We're going to heaven anyways. This is not our official body forever.
mm,
Like why like what is up with us thinking we need like heaven now?
yeah.
Eternity now.
Yeah. We got something incredible in store for us, don't we?
We do. This is not forever and why like come on you guys. It's not go get help. Go live this life to the fullest and get closer to God and
Mm,
it's I guarantee I've seen people go on anxiety medication and go, "Oh my god, I
mm,
finally understand Jesus. I finally have a relationship with him because I can think."
mm.
Yeah, crazy how that works. You know, like yeah,
Yeah.
your brain is working properly. We're
And
spiritual beings.
back onto the church and the way that the church can affect, help, maybe have the opposite effect for you and for your experience. How did your church hurt affect your relationship with God? And if it did in a negative light, how were you able to repair that?
I mean, so I grew up in the church as a pastor's kid, and so I didn't really experience church hurt until I was like an adult and realized like how brutal ministry had been like on my parents
Mm,
and realized that. And so I haven't like experienced church hurt like a typical Christian would experience. I've experienced it from the back end of just seeing like how you can't really sustain a family on a ministry
yep,
like salary.
yeah.
So like I've been hurt with not seeing my parents taken care of like they
Mm,
should be. Um, but that does not affect my faith because I know that's people and that's not Jesus.
mm,
And like God is teaching us all something through that. So I'm never gonna like leave. I'm never gonna not go to church just because some Christians pissed me off.
mm.
Like that would be like me going, I'm sorry, husband, I can't be in a marriage because I've seen marriages fail before. You know, like I don't like, you know, like it's like I've committed to this. I am a Christian. I've committed to my walk with faith and I have committed to finding a local church and all of that.
Mm,
And like that's part of it. And so like if I'm going to let people dictate my relationship with Christ, then I got into a relationship with Christ for the wrong reasons.
mm. 100%. And as a PK, pastor's kid, do you ever feel this pressure to be okay or to appear to be okay when really you're not? And what would you say to people that maybe do wear a mask because they feel like they have to do the Sunday shtick?
Well, I mean, like, think about too being like an influencer online is kind of, I feel like being
Mm,
an influencer online is like kind of comparable to being a pastor's kid where you're like on a pedestal. And like, there are days where I've definitely not been okay a
mm,
few days here in between all these Punk Times Praise, these podcast episodes. Like, there are definitely days where I'm on the floor crying about something. And that's like, okay. And like, some days I choose to share that online, some days it's private.
mm,
Um, you really just have to kind of ride the wave on what you are comfortable with letting the world in on, right? Like you
mm.
have to be you so I understand sometimes you really do need to put on a mask to protect other people and to protect yourself. There are
Yep.
moments where you need to do that, but
Mm,
then there are moments where like I figured out my PTSD stuff from as a kid, so I that's done and behind me, which is why I'm able to talk about it so well,
yep.
right? But like more like personal things like this, like things that I've been through recently, like I might not like, yeah, I'm probably gonna mask up a little bit about that to
Mm,
protect anything related to it and to protect myself because I have to figure that out first
mm,
before I'm able to publicly. So I think, yeah, I think there's a pressure because sometimes masking can protect, but I don't think it should be over everything. I think there are elements of your story that you're going to go, I'm really comfortable with like people knowing that about me. And then there's elements where you'll be like, I'm not really ready for them to know that about me yet.
yes. And I think that's really important as well, is understanding that protection that does need to take place. And also one other thing you said there as well, that it's okay to sometimes not feel your 100% self, to not feel your best. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel upset and hurt. It doesn't make you less Christian.
Throw a couple phones, like that. Like no, that sounds crazy, but like I think all of it has to do with like, are you creating shame
Mm,
around not sharing or shame around sharing? Are you
yep.
feeling shame around sharing? I think
Mm,
all of it like it's all goes back to the root of, are you feeling shame? And if
yep.
you are, that is not of God.
And through the more difficult, the more challenging times, has that shaped or deepened your relationship with God? Because I think of Daniel and the disciples, and these characters from the Bible who went through tumultuous sorts of things in their life, all these challenging times, all these trials, and they came out of it with a deep-rooted, incredible, inspiring faith and story that we read about 2,000 years later.
Hmm. Can you ask that question one more time? I
Yeah,
was
so
taken aback by the Daniel story. Sorry.
one of my favorites as well. Has your
Okay, cool.
understanding of God, has it changed and has it deepened through your times of challenge?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Well, because it's like God just like wants to be my friend.
Mm,
He just like really wants to be in a relationship with me. He doesn't like I think about like I've been reading Jeremiah right now and it's all about like God's like pissed because like everyone else wants to be like in relationship with idols and like God's like, all I want is you guys. Like why won't you choose me? He's a jealous God. And so yeah, I feel like in a way like it's grown my faith because it just draws me closer
mm,
to God's friendship part.
yep.
Sometimes he's a father, sometimes he's a counselor, sometimes, but like, there's something about like when I call up a girlfriend and I'm like, oh my gosh, this happened today and this happened today, and like, it's this relationship and this connection that I have now with that friend. I feel like God just really wants that with us. Like, he'll see things happening throughout the day. I always try to like be like, God, did you see that? Like trying to like include him, but like no other gods before him, like
Mm,
is kind of my brain with that is like it's deepened my relationship with God because I just bring him in on it
yep.
and yeah, and try to be really intentional about him being in that and not just me trying to do it on my own, if that makes sense.
Do you think we overcomplicate God sometimes? We get into
Like,
these,
we don't understand him. We're never
yeah,
supposed to. Why do
yeah.
we why do we want to also? Like
Mm,
God's sovereign And so like we should like if he is truly sovereign, why do we ask why things happen the way they
Yeah.
do?
Yeah. And even within the church, we get into disputes over theological matters and, all these doctrinal
I mean, it's
arguments.
cool. It's good. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like the Bible is like the word of God. Let's get
Yeah.
crazy about it. But at the same time, it's like, why do I need to? There's a lot of things right now in my life that I'm like, I have a lot of questions about that I'm like, why? Why do
Mm,
I need to know?
mm,
Why? Why can't I be patient for that?
yeah.
Because that's not the nature of how my brain has worked for years and years and years. Like my brain is trained to try to know. We
Mm,
want knowledge. I mean, with AI nowadays, like we want we want everything. We want, but no, we're never going to be able to understand like God completely. So like
mm,
why do we argue it? And I mean, but it's good to still know him. Like it's
yeah.
a weird balance of like we want to know him, we want to create understanding, we want to pursue that, but like also like I don't need to in order to know he is sovereign.
Mm. Yeah. And this is not an AI interview, just heads up.
Slay. I
Um,
wondered if you were real.
it's the accent that gave it away, I think.
Slay.
Although I don't think I have an accent. I, I'm
You
I'm
think I have an accent
I'm
though? Don't
fairly
don't
sure
do
you
it.
have one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. Whatever.
Was there a moment in in time where you realized that your pain could become a ministry?
I well, yeah, I wrote the song called Conversation.
Mm,
It was really deep. I had just gone back on medication and I was like it was around COVID and I was struggling with like alcoholism, like really like I was drinking and I was feeling a lot of shame for that and I sent us the song that I wrote called Conversation to a friend of mine who works in the industry and all he said was you need to do everything you can to surround everything you're doing on this.
mm,
And there was just something like with him just saying that that freed it in me to like
yep,
know like, oh, if this is what I make this about, this could be really cool, this could make sense. And then recently I feel like I've had that re-revelation again with like doing the podcast and talking about like really deep stuff on camera
mm,
at a place that like could make or break my career.
mm,
Like on paper I should probably not like I should not have a podcast on that. Like I'm not like but I have a story.
yeah,
And there's been a lot of moments recent where it's like, oh, God is like actually like he can actually do something
mm,
with this. And so again, it all of these are calls to obedience.
mm.
So, yeah.
And I wanted to ask also through whether it be through those times or maybe in more recent times, is there a promise from God or a Bible verse that just carries you through anytime you might go through strife?
Well, like Paul says he considers it great joy when he goes through trials.
Yeah.
What? And then I love the verse on endurance for endurance. Like, let me look it up.
And that verse, while you're looking that up, where Paul says that as well, is even more incredible because his trials were through the roof, insufferable
Oh
for
yeah.
us. We go through something, I broke a toenail. It's the worst day ever.
What endurance verse? What is it? Endurance producing verse. Let's see. Romans, yeah. Oh, nope. What? I think it's maybe James. Oh, suffering produces, it's Romans 5, 3 through 4. Suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, and character produces hope. It's just like, I like those kind of verses just like kind of ground me and go, okay, there's a bigger picture to all of this.
Yeah.
Like one of my mentors said, like, I need to get big picture tattooed to my hand or something just so that like I can like keep that perspective because I think we like get so tunnel vision on what's like right in front of us that we forget that like, oh, I'm enduring this because I it's developing character, and then
Yep.
that's developing hope, and
Yep.
like this is all building on something. And so I think it's cool that the Bible, those guys back in the day, like wrote those kind of things for us to like just kind of get us to snap out of it a little bit. I
Mm.
mean, I firmly believe Paul was struggling with some sort of mental health condition. I mean, like he was like there's been multiple times like even David wanted to die. Well, you know what I mean? Like there's so many psalms that are like I'd rather die right now. You know, like
Mm.
I like there's a lot of mental health conditions in the Bible, and
Yep.
I think they didn't have the verbiage for that yet.
Mm.
But we see it, and so I think just because modern day, it's a lot different. So.
It's relatable. I often call the Psalms bipolar David because he goes from just shouting praise to just
He's
the pits of
crazy.
despair.
He had addiction. He had all sorts of things. Like
Mm.
but he God loved him.
Yeah.
Like he loved him.
Mm.
It's like okay, if he had all that, and he had like girl problems, like you wouldn't believe it. It's like and God just like loved him, and I believe it's because David didn't hide anything from God.
Yeah. A man after God's own heart. I'm really
Yeah,
interested,
he didn't hide.
and you have such an incredible story, and it's almost, it's almost like a rags to riches type of thing, but I'm really interested to know what would 12, 13-year-old Grace, what would she say if
Oh
she
my
saw
gosh.
you where you are today, how far you have come?
Oh my god, she was like I tap into her all the time. Like she would like honestly like be in shock. I mean, like I get to do the genre that I love and I get to make music, which is what she wanted to do, and write songs, which is all she wanted to do. And then like oh, by the way, the radio station that you like grew up on, like that's going to be like somewhere you call home one day, and like you're going to have a podcast with like Access More wasn't around back then, but like you're going to have a podcast where you are interviewing other Christian music artists that are really cool,
Yeah.
and you're going to be tasked with that. And then, oh, by the way, your childhood heroes are gonna be like your date, like your manager is like your second favorite member of your second favorite band, and you're gonna like talk to him like every day, all day, and he's gonna like help guide you, weird, and write songs with you. I like literally freak every time I see Adam. I freak out. Like it's always gonna be a thing. Like it's always gonna be it. And
And
my
he'll never
like my
get bored
drummer
of it,
was
I'm
Hawk
sure.
Nelson. Oh, he never. Yeah, I don't think he ever. I don't think he ever gets bored. I think it's fun. It's fun because it's fun to watch my heroes like respond to like how fangirly I get. Because even John Steingard, he's been super supportive and like I like freak out all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Like I just can't. It's like my adult self comes in, and then there's moments where it's like I get this random text about something, and I'm like, that is the same person I looked at like my entire childhood on my wall. Like that is nuts. Like if you've I mean, like these guys care about me. Like to for 12-year-old Grace to like feel that.
Yeah.
I will never be able to explain it, and I think that is what has like created such a bond between me and these guys,
Mm.
and I'm so utterly grateful to the Lord. Like I like to a deep sense that this is my life and I get to be doing everything and in relationship with the people. And I like this is I am deeply honored.
Mm.
So
That's awesome. And just changing tack back to music as well. I jump all over the place. It's ADHD,
yeah,
but some people see worship as polished and peaceful, and your music is raw and loud and has this really beautiful energy about it. I listen to your music, and as I said before, I feel excited to praise Jesus,
yeah,
which is what,
yeah,
for me, that's what authentic worship music should sound like. And I think, when you talk about authentic worship, it's different for people based on their personalities and based on their character. But in your understanding, explain What does authentic worship music sound like to you?
Sounds like what you think freedom and joy sound like.
Amen.
And that is what freedom and joy sounds like to me. It sounds a little pop punk.
Yeah. There's joy in the Lord, and that joy is freedom.
Yeah.
And so as people hear your music, I think about songs like Grace of God, as
Yeah.
one of the favorites of mine, your punk worship covers, what is your hope for listeners as they listen and hear your music?
I just want them to feel seen. Like that's it. Like
Yeah.
I don't care if they take anything else away. I just want them to go like, "Oh, saw that saw a part of me." Like sometimes I feel like it's like, "Oh, that saw a part of them that maybe they didn't like," and they're like, "Ooh, I don't like that." But like
Yeah.
I want them to feel like seen in some sort of area and like understood a little bit.
Yeah.
Um and that's really it.
I love that. And I think also when it comes to Christian music, maybe we're seeing a little bit of I don't know if revival's the right word, but in terms of Christian music
Totally.
becoming more honest and open about pain, struggle, and healing, is that something we could tap into more, or are we seeing a breakthrough in that area
A breakthrough in
in terms of seeing more of that kind of content within our worship music?
I mean, like, yeah, I guess people just aren't caring about like the politics of industry anymore.
Mm,
And with social media nowadays, it's kind of leveling the playing field. So, um, I think, I think like we don't have any like limits now. And so, yeah, like
mm,
people are feeling a lot more freedom to kind of like break through in that because they're not feeling like they have any limits. And that's really cool. Um,
mm.
yeah, I don't know if it's anything. I don't know. I think it just has to do with the fact that like this day and age, like it's easier to do it, and so more
Yeah,
and more people are doing it, and more people are not. They're not doing it like people were in the back in the day where they're trying to pay their bills.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
people just do it just to do it nowadays, and
yeah.
so I think we are seeing a resurgence because we're seeing accessibility.
Yeah, and there's such a platform these days as well that when it is showcased, it's so many eyeballs on it, or so many ears that hear it as well, which is great. Great for the advocacy. Um, have you ever struggled with feeling disqualified or unworthy of ministry because of your past? And what would you say to people today that might be wrestling with those same thoughts?
Oh yeah, I felt I mean I still feel inadequate sometimes when people even ask me to quote Bible verses. Like it's like like I love Jesus. I read the Bible every day. I promise. I just like it's hard. It's hard. It's something I need to work on is memorizing and like so yeah, no, I feel it all the time, but like our weakness is his strength.
Yeah,
And like the reality is I've said that before on a podcast episode and someone messaged me going, it's hard for me to memorize Bible verses too,
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like, oh, it really ministered to someone. Not that it's going to prevent me from trying, but like, oh, okay, you just don't know our weakness is his strength. And so really lean in no matter what and just try and maybe fail. And God's not going to leave anything wasted.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Look, I am the same. I read the Bible every day,
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
hard.
terrible at memorizing. I help out in our kids' church, and we have this thing where we write our memory verse on the board, and then we rub off words, and we get them to choose which words to rub off. We get to a point, and I'm like, oh no. Can
Yeah,
you guys
it's
repeat it for me?
hard.
Because I've forgotten.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. But like why do we have to pretend it's not hard? Like
Yeah.
why do we pretend like I don't know. Life is too short to pretend those things.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with pulling out a phone and just, up there it is. Doesn't take too long. Look,
I've
looking
got a
at
brain in my hand, so
yeah, that's right. Looking at the calendar, you've got a lot of dates coming up. Um, Something called the Mental Health Nights Tour. Can you explain a little bit about what that's
yeah.
about?
I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. Just a lot of music, a lot of talk about mental health. It just I'm trying to get to a point where like, I'm touring as much as possible and I'm starting to.
Yeah.
And my goal is to create through my shows just anything that will kind of pique interest. And so calling it mental health nights was kind of like, because I would have people reach out. I'd call it like a specific tour and people just wouldn't book it. But this one people are booking because it's
Yeah.
so specific. So that's why I chose a name because like it was like people would call and go, "Well, will she share her story?" And
Mm.
I was like, "Yeah, of course I will." But like, so I really like made it just abundantly clear like what I was going to talk about like
Yeah.
those nights. And so it's really a cool um doing shows is a really cool way to just get one-on-one and do like ministry. So, yeah,
While
I'm
having
really
fun.
excited.
It's
Oh
like
my
this
gosh.
perfect combination,
It's
isn't
so
it?
much fun. It's so much fun. It's so much fun, and what's even like what's fun is like sharing it with my old like heroes, and like, I'm making the memories now, and I'll
Yeah.
like tell them, "Oh, we did this the other night. Like we, went at midnight to McDonald's or something." And they'll tell me a story about their band doing that. It's just like, "Oh my gosh, that's like I love that. That's so cool. It's like I'm doing the thing." So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That would be surreal. That would be so surreal
Oh
for
my
you.
gosh. The amount of like Stellar Cart stories I get or Hawk Nelson stories I get is like I'm getting the documentary no one else is getting, and this is beyond wild. Like it's so awesome. And it's cool too. It's like confirmation. I always thought like I could hang, like, and now like I'm like I can. Like I
Yeah.
was right when I was 14. When I knew those were my people, they are my people now.
Yeah. You've followed what was set before you and you're doing it admirably well. You
Thank
have a
you.
lot of dates in your home country. Have you got any plans to go globally for your ride or die fans?
It's just expensive. It's
Yeah.
so expensive.
Not cheap.
So yeah, if you guys can pay the fees and all of that, like, yeah, I'll come out. I just like I it's hard enough trying to book shows in my home country.
Or cover the flights.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, look, I like to land the plane on these interviews with a little bit of fun. So
Okay.
I like to play a game. Well, I call it the one word response game because
Okay.
I also am very bad at coming up with names, and that's exactly what it is. You
Slay.
know,
Love
I
it.
come up with a word, and just the first thing that enters your head. See, I would love to see just how this brain works. Okay, so
Okay.
the first word, music.
Sparkle.
Oh, sunshine.
Yellow.
Oh, this could make or break, okay? People could turn off the interview right now. Actually, one way
Okay.
or another, they're going to because this is very divisive. Pineapple on pizza.
Exotic.
Oh, okay. 3-day weekend.
Rest.
Jesus.
Oh, king.
Good one. School.
Homework.
I'm going to put that on repeat for my son. Sport.
What?
Sport.
I think of a soccer ball.
All right. Church.
Across.
Okay, there's two more. One of them's very close to home and one of them's very far away. United States of America.
Red, white, and blue.
Australia.
Kangaroos.
Why does everyone say that?
Because that's all you guys are known for that I know of.
I
I
tell
or do you want me to say poisonous animals?
that works too. I tell people that don't come from here that we ride kangaroos to school, and I have about a
No, you don't.
50% strike rate in making people believe, but
There's no
I already
way
know
in
that that's
hell.
not gonna that's not gonna land. Um,
I would believe you if you would have told me that in the beginning of the interview. But since you were laughing at kangaroos, I think there's something against kangaroos now. So,
can you hit us with your best Australian accent?
oh no, no,
Not a.
Gar, I can't.
I'm terrible at it as well. I once got told
I
to do an Indian accent, and apparently it was more of a Irish sounding things. So I'm out on that as well.
I can't really do it.
That's
Not that
actually
well.
that's
It's
pretty
hard. It's
good.
not.
That's actually pretty good. Most Americans
Okay,
give us
thanks.
more of a British vibe, so that was actually not
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, so like my someone who helps me in my music, he's from Australia, and I sometimes like babysit his kids, and it's so cute. They go in and out of their American and Australian accents. It's adorable.
That would be an
So
interesting combination.
yeah, I mean it happened. I mean, yeah.
All right, well, the floor is yours now. Just promote upcoming gigs, your
Oh yeah,
podcast,
I mean yeah.
anything.
Check out Breaking Through with Grace Graber on all platforms for podcasting. I've got a lot of really cool episodes with some really cool guests coming out. It's all mental health based. So if you love this conversation, you're absolutely positively going to love every conversation in that podcast. I've got Punk Times Praise Volume One out now on all platforms. Just look up Grace Graber. You can literally just Google me and you'll find me. I am findable. And so there's no excuse. I don't want to get DMs saying I can't find it because I know how easy it is to find. I programmed it that way. So check out Punk Times Praise, and then just keep an eye out. Make sure you follow me on socials. Grace Graber Music everywhere you get
Perfectly done.
socials. So yeah,
Um,
slay.
on that Punk Times praise as well. Look, I will leave the daycare just with that up loud and the windows down. Just guys, take a listen to
Oh,
Grace on the way
oh,
out.
I love it. I love
No
it.
more baby sharks. I'm over baby shark by the end of the day. So
No,
let's.
baby. I should do punk version of Baby Shark for
Oh, could
sure.
you? That would be
Yeah,
something else.
maybe.
Hey, I think it's so important to have an attitude of gratitude as we go through life. So as
Yeah,
we close, could you just share
yeah.
three things that you're grateful for?
I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my beautiful home, and I'm grateful for the career that I have in music.
Awesome. Can I pray to close?
Yeah, let's do
Awesome.
it.
All right. Father God, thank you so much for Grace. Thank you for her openness to share her story. And we thank you, Lord, for everything that you have done in her life and the way that you have created this platform for her to share her story and to help others that may be going through times of trial and challenge. And I pray, Lord, that you would help them to break through as well and to enjoy the love and the grace that you have for them, Lord. And we thank you for this interview today. We thank you for everything that Grace has shared. And I pray that it would be powerful and it would be moving in the hearts of those who've watched and listened. We pray this in Jesus' mighty holy name. Amen.
Amen.